All right, so we are all set up here. Everything is done, and that probably shaved at least 15 minutes off of my normal setup time. My setup for my live solo gigs has just completely changed, and I just used this new system, well, new to me anyway, for the very first time, and of course, I've got to share that experience with you. I just got the Electro-Voice Evolve 50M. This is a portable column PA system, and some of you may have seen my live unboxing on YouTube a couple of weeks ago. In this video, of course, you're going to hear some live performance, and actually I've got multiple things I'm going to share with you when it comes to that. Before we do that, I'm going to give you a quick rundown of the specs. I'm going to walk you through how I set this system up with the multiple elements. There are a few other things I add to my live solo gigs. Now, this is a sponsored video, so thank you so much to Electro-Voice, and especially to you, Eric, who helped push this thing through. And guys, hang around till the end of the video. I've got a little bit more context to that story and some tips to go with that for you as a musician, whether you're a solo, duo, trio, or even in a full band. The Evolve 50M system is called a portable column system, and it's a real simple three-piece system. You've basically got a subwoofer here, you've got a bar that goes on top of that, which is going to extend the height of your main speakers that will fit on top of that. So really easy setup, so much better than setting up two main speakers with speaker stands, floor monitor, and all the cables that go with that, like I've been setting up for the past several years now. This system has 1,000 watts of power. You've got multiple channels here, 8 total, and you've got both instrument cable inputs and XLR inputs. Now, each channel has its own 3-band EQ, and you can also assign effects, which effects include reverb, delay, and chorus. Now, the system also has presets. You've got one for music, for live, for speech, and for club, and when you get into each individual channel, there are more presets for those. For example, you've got vocals, of course, for vocals, you've got acoustic, you've got electric, so you've got some different options that are preset for those specific purposes. You also have an Electro-Voice mobile app, which is called QuickSmart. Now, this basically allows you to have your mixer on your iPad or tablet or phone, and I'll cover that when we get more into how I connect everything and how I use the system. The system also has Bluetooth connectivity, which means you can play your own music through your own device. Now it's time to set everything up. I want to walk you through this process, and I think you'll get some really good tips as we go through this as well. So I chose to use this system for the first time at my largest and most long-standing venue here at Keel and Curley Winery in Plant City. Now, you can see what kind of crowd we have here, and this is on a Friday night, and of course you can see how large the venue is. It goes pretty far back here. This is an open area, but it is covered. Now, let's head over to the stage. This is before, of course, everything is set up. You can see the stage is pretty large. Now, most of the time, as solo artists, we are stuck in the corner somewhere or on a small stage, and trust me, I play at plenty of places in smaller, like, nooks and crannies where you're just setting up stuff. And of course, I'm going to cover the system in some of those types of venues in future videos as well. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel, by the way, and hey, give this video a thumbs up while you're at it. All right, so we are all set up here. Everything is done, and that probably shaved at least 15 minutes off of my normal setup time. When everything's done, it's like, don't we still have more to set up? And like, no, everything is done. So let me take you through the connections and just how I have everything with like the vocals and the guitars. I've got 2 guitars, by the way, and I'll show you how I connect everything. Hey, by the way, you guys can leave me a tip. You can see how I positioned the Evolve M50 here. It's kind of at the front of the stage, and then you can see the mics here are just a little bit behind it. So that is so that we don't get any feedback. And we'll get up on stage and I'll show you a close-up. We're going to go through all of this, by the way, and you can still hear it, believe it or not, without a monitor. So that's the cool part about the system. We've got 4 inputs. Well, we got more inputs than that, as you can see, but I've got four things going in here. So this first input right here is my main vocal mic. This is the vocal mic for my wife. She sings with me, as you guys know, on a few songs here and there. So we've got these cables going directly to our microphones right there. It's my wife's, and that's mine right there. Now, you guys know I've been using these vocal effects pedals, the mic mechanic pedals. I'm actually not using those tonight. I didn't even bring them because as I've been testing the Evolve 50M, I really like the way the vocals sound even without those pedals. Those pedals are still great, don't get me wrong, but tonight, since it's my first time using it, I want to just give a true test, okay, just as bare bones as I possibly can, just using the system. I do have some added stuff though, and I got to share that with you now. So remember, we had 2 more cables going in right here. So this is my acoustic guitar, and this is for the electric guitar. You guys know I break that out from time to time. So the acoustic, now that is going to be running to my looper pedal here. A big part of my shows are looping. You guys know I like to do some rhythms and then loop that and play some leads. That's a really big part of my shows, so I will rarely ever play without a looper. You see the wireless, you see the cable going in, and then we got the wireless, the Boss WL20L. That's going directly into my acoustic down there, my Takamine down there. So that's the acoustic. Now for the electric, I am using my Pod Go for that. Mainly because I play some dirty leads there, some rock and roll leads sometimes. So I've got my patch set up for that, and this is coming from the system here. And of course I've got the other cable going out to my Telecaster here. That's the basic setup there. I mean, that is it. So I do need a wireless for my electric. I'd like to get another wireless. I love playing with the least amount of wires and cables as possible, which this whole setup has kind of eliminated a lot of that. Remember, I used to set up 2 main speakers, a monitor, and those all sound great, but you've got power cables for each one. You've got cables going into the soundboard for each one, another cable, a power cable for the soundboard, and everything else. So this really cut down on everything. I want to go over some of the features that I am not using tonight. So you've got more channels in here. You've got the mix out. You've got an auxiliary out. You've also got a foot switch here. You can connect a foot switch, and I believe you can assign that to turn the effects off, which would be great if you've got some effects like I do. I've got some of the reverb on the system for my vocals and for my acoustic guitar. Remember, my acoustic is going through the looper, but I have no effects. I'm just using the acoustic settings on this system, and I'll touch on that in a second here. But again, you've got a couple more channels. If you want to connect really anything else here, you could. And I actually have my phone paired with the system. Now, not just for the Bluetooth here, because I play music in between my sets. So we've got that covered, easy connection. But I also have it connected so that I'm using my phone. I'm using the Electro-Voice app as my soundboard. I'm going to show you that now. Now, I'm not going to go through every single detail of the app, but you can do pretty much everything on this. So this is the main mixer. You can see my level here. We've got our EQ. I basically just leave that flat. I rely on the channel EQ, and of course I've got like effects for my electric guitar. But if we go here, if we go to, let's see, edit mixer, and by the way, you can mute everything right here. Go to edit mixer. Now I've got my mixer settings. So this is channel 1, 2, and so forth. I can click on, let's say, channel 1. Now I've got everything, my compression, a little bit of echo reverb for the vocals, treble, effects, mids, bass, all that good stuff. And of course you can mute this channel individually if you want to do that. You've got that view. Let's go back to the mixer. Now I prefer, and this is just me, I prefer to do my phone like this. If you go like that, horizontal, you've got this view. And I actually prefer this view a little bit more. So this is all my channels. You want to mute those individually, you can do that. But to me, I don't know, I just like this better. If I need to go turn something down, then I can just quickly do that. So if we go back to the speaker, you've got the same view here for the system as a whole, your overall volume, your EQ, again, you can mute right here, all that good stuff. So how you view the mixer, that's really just your preference. And ideally, and I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna put the app on my iPad. I do use an iPad for lyrics. Sometimes I forget lyrics, I just need that first word. So that's kind of like my security blanket on the stage, if you will. But in any case, so that's my wife's iPad. So I'm probably gonna just get my own. That way it's tied to my iCloud account and all that good stuff. And I can just have my lyrics there, and I can just flip over and then make adjustments to the EQ and to the system as I need to. Normally I'm kind of like a, hey, set it and forget it type of person. I'll have my wife and maybe another friend to go out in the audience and let me know how it sounds. And you know, mixing is pretty simple because it's just me singing and playing acoustic guitar. And of course I've got some instrumental stuff that I'm doing. So it's like once you have that mix set, you're pretty much good. It's just a matter of your overall volume, and you'll adjust that per venue. It is time to start the show, and I'm going to share some live performance clips with you. Now, it's important to note I did not use any over-the-top fancy audio gear here to capture the audio. I tried to capture what it would be like in the audience the best I could, so I hope you enjoy it, and we're going to break down multiple clips. So first things first, let's hear how it sounds just talking through this thing.
Folks, real quick, want to thank everybody for coming out to Keel and Curley tonight, or today. We're still daytime. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. My name is Jason Stallworth. I'm going to take you back to the 80s, take you back a few decades. You're all too young to know the songs, but I hope you enjoy them anyway.
Now, that channel is set up for vocals. Remember I talked about the presets earlier, so I just used the vocal preset. I did boost my highs a little and my mids just a little. I didn't touch the low end, and I do have a little bit of effects on that channel as well, a little bit of reverb on there, and the goal here was to have enough to help with the vocals, because I do like reverb when I'm singing, but not too much so that I can still talk and it doesn't sound like I'm in this huge echo chamber. On that note, let's hear what the system sounds like with some vocals and acoustic guitar.
You tell me that you want me. You tell me that you need me. You tell me that you love me. And I know that I'm right, 'cause I hear it in the night. I hear the secrets that you keep, see the light. Take me home tonight. This is just like a Ronnie said. Take me home tonight. I don't wanna let you go. I'll get over you. I know I will. I pretend my shit's not sinking, and I'll tell myself I'm over you, 'cause I'm the king of wish.
So again, the vocal channel did not change. A little bit of reverb on there using the vocal preset. Now for the acoustic, I had just the acoustic preset on there. Of course, I messed around with the EQ a little bit. I boosted the highs on that. I didn't feel the need to boost any low end at all because you've got that sub, and to me, that sub sounds really, really good with the bass just untouched. Now, I did have my acoustic guitar running from the EV system into my looper pedal here, and this doesn't alter the sound in any way. This is just so I can loop a rhythm and play some solos over it like this. I want to go back to vocals just for a second here. As we mentioned earlier in the video, my wife does come up and sing a few songs with me here and there. So here's a short clip of us singing together with the acoustic guitar.
Have you ever seen the rain? I wanna know. Have you ever seen the rain coming down on a sunny day?
Now there's another element I want to share with you, and this was kind of a big deal for me, and I was kind of nervous about it. I'm like, is my electric guitar gonna sound good through the Evolve 50M system here? So I was a little nervous about that. Now I did use a separate processor for this, and I had that running through a separate channel on the Electro-Voice. I've got my acoustic in one channel there. That's just for the acoustic on the acoustic setting. And then I've got my Pod Go, the Line 6 Pod Go, going directly into channel 4 for my electric guitar. And what I do is I'll loop an acoustic rhythm like I showed you earlier, then I'll pick up the electric and I'll play some electric leads over that rhythm like this. Now that's the clean version. It's time to add a little dirt, and this is the part where I was really kind of nervous. I'm like, is this gonna sound good through the Evolve 50M? Well, let's hear it. Now I'm gonna share the story behind why I went after this specific system, the Electro-Voice Evolve 50M. But real quick, I wanted to let you know that I did ask several people how it sounded out there, from the folks that were kind of in the front to some of the folks in the back, especially the staff, because I know they're going to be honest with me. They'll tell me if something is just not working or if it sounds good, because they've got to hear that for the entire 4 hours that I'm there. And of course, my wife and some other friends we had there, they're always going to be honest and tell me, hey, that sounded great, or hey, it's just not working. Guys, I got great feedback from everyone. In fact, several people said that the sound overall, like no matter where they were in the audience, it was just a lot more crisp and clear, which that's the feedback that I was hoping for, because this system, again, it just cuts so much time and headache out of the setup and the teardown. I mean, putting this thing into my car, remember I used to load 2 really big speakers in here and a monitor and some other things to go with that. I'm just having to load the sub, and then of course the little pole and the speaker system. It's pretty simple. And then carrying it in, well, it's a lot less stuff to have to carry from the car to the stage and set up and tear down, all that good stuff. So that's a huge deal to someone like me. I play solo gigs anywhere from 2 to 3, sometimes 4 times a week. So having this Evolve 50M system is really a huge relief. And plus the sound quality's there. I'm not missing anything at all. Now, a few things I might change next time I play at this specific venue or any venue that has a larger stage and just a larger venue in general. I'll more than likely bring my monitor. I have a floor monitor. Actually, it's an Electro-Voice floor monitor that I've been playing with for many years now. It just has a little bit better clarity than what I'm hearing being behind the Evolve 50M system. Now, smaller venues, that Evolve 50M, that's going to work just fine. I wouldn't drag a monitor to a smaller venue, but again, for the larger stages and just larger venues where you might set yourself a little further away from the system because you have the room, I'm pretty sure I'll be bringing my floor monitor. In fact, hey, I'll do a video on that, so stay tuned for that one. That's going to be coming up. The other thing I may change next time is I may just run my acoustic guitar through my processing unit that I run my electric through. That's what I've been doing. I've got a setting for that in the Line 6 Pod Go, and I like that just a little bit better than what I was getting out of the EV channel, just going direct using their acoustic setting. Now, again, for smaller places, and if you just want simplicity, hey, you know what? Connect your vocal mic in there, connect your guitar, you're set. I mean, the sound is great. I just like my acoustic sound that I have created in my processing unit a little bit better. Plus, I've got the option to bump the volume up when I go to play lead, playing over that rhythm loop. So again, for the larger venues, I may add just a few more elements or make just a couple of changes there. For the smaller venues, well, I'm just going to plug directly into that system. Now, I'll always use some type of looper for guitar, even if I'm just playing acoustic without the electric. Having those instrumentals, that's become a big part of my shows, and it's kind of become something that I'm known for, and that's expected when I go play live somewhere. All that said, I am extremely happy with the Electro-Voice Evolve 50M. This has just saved so much hassle and time with the setup and teardown, and I didn't lose any sound quality. In fact, per what many people in the audience and the staff were telling me, we've gained sound quality. We have enhanced our sound with this system here. As promised, I want to share just a quick backstory here on how I came across this Evolve 50M system from Electro-Voice. And once again, thank you guys so much at Electro-Voice, Eric, especially you, for just helping move this thing along. Very appreciative for you guys sending me this system. I love it, and we're gonna have some more videos on this thing coming up, because the live solo gigs, guys, I know this is mainly a metal guitar channel, and that's what, you know, that's what it's based on, and I'll always have that, but solo gigs have become such a big part of my life and my music career. You guys know I am a full-time musician. I don't do anything else. So between my music, YouTube, my guitar courses, and live solo gigs, and everything I do is related to music. And as I started doing these live solo shows, well, hey, I wanted to share this stuff with you. I wanted to share the journey with you guys and share some tips, because, guys, real quick, it's just a great way to get out there and, first of all, get some live experience. I think it's so important to go out there and sing and play and just do that stuff live. There's nothing like it, and you gain an entire new skill set in doing that. And guys, honestly, it's a great way to make a side income. I know some friends that do live solo gigs full time, so it's a great way to make an income. That said, you may remember a couple of months ago I had a gig at the Florida State Fair. Well, they provided an Electro-Voice system, and I think it was one of the older, one of the original Evolve systems. I don't know if it was 30, 50 or whatever. Didn't even have that label on there, so I think it was an older one. And I was like, okay, well, this is a perfect opportunity to test this thing out because, well, I kind of have to. It's what they're providing, you know. So I plugged in. One of the sound guys at the fair who was managing that stage, you know, they helped me set it up and all that, which was really, really simple. And I had no issues whatsoever. Didn't need a monitor. The stage was a little bit smaller at this venue here, but didn't need a monitor, didn't need anything. And the whole gig just went flawless. It was 3 hours total that I was playing with this system. And of course, I was playing some instrumentals as well as playing and singing. And of course, I had the electric guitar up there as well. So I was just so impressed by this system that I reached out to Electro-Voice, because you guys know I did a video on that show the first time playing through an Electro-Voice Evolve system, and just shared how I wanted to give value to Electro-Voice. And hey, we worked up this deal, and once again, I can't thank Electro-Voice enough. A tip for my musician friends out there though, guys, I want you to understand that whenever you're going after something, right, whether it be getting new gigs, whether it be a sponsorship or anything like that, make sure your number one goal is not you, okay? It's not what you can get. It's not trying to get free gear. It's not trying to get a gig for you. Make sure your number one goal is to give. And what I mean by that is you need to show the value that you plan to give to that entity, whether it be a venue, whether it be a bar, a winery, whether it be, again, going for some type of sponsorship. You need to provide the value. That needs to be your number one goal. I'm a firm believer that if you give, that will come back to you, okay? I'm a firm believer in that. So go into everything with that mindset. Too many musicians and bands and just people in general go into things, well, gimme, gimme, gimme. I'm owed this, I deserve this, I want this. Go into everything that you do giving your best, giving as much value as you possibly can, just putting it out there. And guys, great things will come into your life as a result. So guys, drop me a comment if you have any questions about this system. I will be doing some more videos on this system. I've got a lot of ground to cover here because there's so many ways that I use this thing. I want to go into some deeper levels like using an electric guitar with the system. Heck, maybe I'll do a video playing metal through this system. Let me know if you guys would like to hear that. Please give this video a like, guys, and make sure you're subscribed to my channel. I will see you on the next video. As always, keep playing music.